Hey guys, man, do I have some exciting news on what we may be seeing at Sony's E3 press conference this year. In past years, Sony has blown the other big two out of the water when it comes to big exclusives and exclusive gameplay reveals. This year seems to be no different. Apparently there was a memo leaked containing the agenda for Sony's E3 press conference, and there are some major debuts in the cards. Let's take a look. So the first line of the memo states that we were going to get a PlayStation Games matchup. Nothing too exciting there, but everything after that looks pretty amazing. While I'm not too keen on Days Gone because I think the zombie genre is overplayed and cliche at this point, I am definitely looking forward to the follow-up to Naughty Dog's amazing The Last of Us. A Part 2 was an excellent surprise, as in past interviews Naughty Dog stated there wouldn't be any sequels. I think we'll actually get our eyes on some gameplay footage though at E3, however. This was an expected reveal though. Next, we have a few heavy hitters with a new entry in the Splinter Cell series and Devil May Cry 5. I haven't played Splinter Cell since PS2. I think it was Chaos Series was the last game that I'd actually played, so not really excited about that. But this is the first time we've heard anything about a new DMC, and hopefully it is back in the hands of Hideki Itsuno, who led the development of numbers 3 and 4. We also have Yakuza 2 Kiwami, obviously a follow-up to the remastered version of Yakuza 1, and finally some actual Shenmue 3 gameplay. It's nice to see more of the Shenmue series, as I have played that since way back on the Dreamcast, and Yu Suzuki's third entry is certainly not going to disappoint. This is solely his brainchild, and he has said that he has already planned out 11 entries in the series, so he obviously has a love for the story. I'm excited to see what aesthetic this game takes and how he has updated the mechanics for modern audiences. Next, we have a big announcement, apparently with the PS4 being backwards compatible and being able to play PS2 and PS3 games. Then the only exclusive feature Xbox One has over the PS4 has finally been eliminated. Not to mention, thousands of games have just been added to the PS4's library if this is true. I still have my copy of Burnout 3 Takedown, and I welcome any feature that allows me to play my past games on my PS4. Throughout the rest of the list, there's several games that bring back a sense of nostalgia, and I cannot wait to see them in action. All these games I grew up with, playing, and it is awesome to see that companies are looking back at those genre-defining games of the past to build their future. I mean, look at this list. Resident Evil 2 Remake, Spyro Reignited, Metal Gear Solid 3 Remake, Final Fantasy 7 Remake. I mean, come on. There's no way you can just shrug your shoulders at that list of games. For one, Final Fantasy VII was the first RPG I ever played, and is quite possibly in my top 3 favorite games of all time. When this was announced a couple of years back, my jaw dropped in awe, and now I'm ready to see some more gameplay, and maybe some summons, and hopefully some classic bosses will return. A few years back, Capcom did announce the Resident Evil 2 remake, but we didn't get much else in the way of what the features would be or anything really. So I'm glad that Capcom has decided to hopefully debut this game with Sony, as the PS1 cemented this series back in the mid-90s. There's so many games that would not exist without the Resident Evil series. You know, I can remember being in the 6th grade when Resident Evil 2 came out and being afraid to play it, but also somehow drawn to it to overcome my fears. This game was a watershed moment in video game history, and I hope it lives up to the legacy of its original. We also have the remake of Metal Gear Solid 3, which is tied as my favorite entry in the series besides Metal Gear Solid 4. This game has so many great moments, humor, and the best boss fights of the PS2 generation in my opinion. I would guess this would probably be a remaster, not a remake, but I could certainly be wrong. Maybe Konami is digging into their catalog for future releases, because they've ruined the 2 best things they had going for them, Silent Hill and Metal Gear Solid. I'm truly excited to see what comes out of this, even if it is Konami. Then we have a few games that we knew we were going to see more of, and then a few surprises. We have Death Stranding, Vanquish 2, Kingdom Hearts 3, Beyond Good and Evil 2, and Insomniac's Spider-Man game. While most everything on this list was expected, and I am certainly excited to see each of these titles because they're going to be amazing in their own right, I was intrigued by Vanquish 2. I didn't see this one coming. I'll admit that I did love the first Vanquish though. It was a game developed by the creator of Resident Evil's indie studio, Platinum Games. You know, now he's moved on to Tango Gameworks, working on the Evil Within series. The protagonist wore an awesome mechanized suit, slid around, and had access to an array of awesome weapons. Plus, You could box a robot's head like a punching bag, and that's hilarious stuff. Check this out. I am hoping also that we get some new information and maybe some gameplay to go along with Kojima's weird and beautiful trailers we've seen in the past for Death Stranding. We are fortunate to have Kojima, Guillermo del Toro, and Norman Reedus bringing us this game after the huge letdown that was the cancellation of Silent Hills by Konami. Kojima is an amazing and visionary director, my favorite, who deserves his time to prove himself in the wake of the Metal Gear Solid 5 and Konami debacle. Well, guys, that looks to be it for the leak and what we may see at E3 this year from Sony. If this leak is to be believed, Microsoft has some heavy lifting they have to do this year to be even anywhere near the level of Sony. I'm hoping also that we see some more of Black Ops 4 Blackout mode at E3, considering the Battle Royale craze that is going on in the gaming industry right now. Be sure to check back on hiswhitelight's Versus for updates during E3 and our future teacher versus student live streams every Saturday at 11 p.m. If you enjoyed this video, make sure you like and subscribe, and let me know what you think about this leak in the comments below. Alright guys, until next time.